Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Damaris Mikali and this is Maisha Chapters. So today's episode is a story time. I hope that you learn from it and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get right into it. So the year is 2013. 2013, I have completed high school, and like any other adult, I was just chilling at home. Some people at this time used to either go for computer packages. This time people were teaching, so I had peers who were teaching. There are people are just getting something to be busy with their lives. So for us, I'm here waiting for results, and this is that transitioning phase when you want to go to campus. And for me, I don't know why I was not actively seeking for a job. I think I had that narrative of, yay, tumemaliza high school, tulisema tutalala, so tunalala, na we are not going either to school, or this was just a season for me to even just recuperate. You know, school life can be quite something. So for me, I think I was during that phase. So in ile phase yenye ugeka texts are 200 and then you text with people. That was the thing that I was doing. But people who knew what they wanted with their lives were actually busy during this time. People were going for lessons at driving school. There are people who had thought when you wanaenda majuu. So this was the phase of just trying to figure your life and get direction and all that. So somebody approached me and the person was like, do you want a job? And during this time, we had a business. We had a family business. I remember this time, I think we were running a hotel. So all my life, I think with the business that my parents have tried, I have been actively there. So for me, working was not something that took me off guard or something that I will say I was not used to. So I was used to working, but then I was not used to being paid. So if you know African parents, for you it's like cheap, free labor. So I used to be paid in food or in kind, but I can't quite recall getting some money. So this offer came at a very opportune time because I was looking for just something. It was good to earn some good money, and for me it was good money at that time. So I took the job. I am oriented. I am told these are the do's and don'ts. I am even given a cash safe box to store the money, and I'm told every day the records and how to input the records, and I'm told that every day the money has to balance. So the money that I was given and the money that is in the M-PESA phone has to balance. So for me, that was it, and I think I learned some few business over there. So I was like, okay, sawa, I can do this. So I take up the job. So basically, my job and it required me to just go open the shop, sweep, sit there, wait for clients to come and transact, and that's it. So I take on the job, and I remember we were even taken for a training. So I go to Mwingi. So Mwingi is my hometown, but Mwingi is like Tao. So I go to Mwingi, we go to this marvelous hotel, and that is where the training was supposed to take place. So niko hapo niko like, wow, okay. So hadi tumeanza kwenda. For me it was like a conference, because tumeenda kwa hotel, it's a conference nini, and I'm here to learn, and it's like a training. So I was feeling kind of important. I was feeling important, and I was like, this is it, this is the life. I'll be attending conferences and trainings in hotels, and I like it over here. So we underwent the training, and we were told how to avoid scammers, how they come, how to identify them, and ways that I could keep myself and the business safe. I go back and I continue. Life goes on, but this time I've already learned some few tips and tricks. I'm here selling SIM cards. I'm here selling airtime. That time, don't know if they're still there. You know, these days people transact through M-PESA, and I also do that. So can't quite recall the last time I bought a scratch card. Can you? Is that something you do in this digital age? But yeah, I used to sell Bamba 20, Bamba 50, and for this the profit margins are usually very little. So you find for a Bamba 20 you'll get 2 bob, Bamba 10 you'll get 1 bob. But for me, I remember like by selling more, I was able to get even by the end of the week like a 200 bob profit. So for me that was like, yay, I'm already in business, I'm already being paid, and we used to even be given money for lunch. So during that time I was yani pesa ilikuwa imeanza kuingia, pesa ilikuwa mzuri. So life goes on, and I am used to my job. I know what needs to be done. I know the do's and don'ts. I am keeping myself safe, and then this happens. So on this day, a client comes. It's on a Monday, and Monday for us are market days. For market days, there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people. You know, for typical market days that happen in our rural areas, it was it. So a lot of clients for that day, meaning a lot of transactions had gone through. So meaning I had a lot of float. So float is the money you have in the M-PESA phone. Most likely it's like a dunda. What is it called? That kamwizi. It's usually very small, but it had a lot of money. So on this particular day, I remember one person comes, and I used to have a lot of clients, like I said, and I remember elderly people used to love me so much. And the reason I say this is because I used to have good customer service. I still have good customer service. By the way, if you want to learn about customer service, I am your go-to person. So I learned a lot of customer service, and I was doing pretty well. So people come, and I remember I used to help them even just do the transactions, because they are elderly. Sometimes they don't even know the amount of money they have in their phones. So if I was a bad person, I would have actually stolen from them, and they will never notice. So I will come, tell me I want to withdraw like 30,000. I withdraw for them. I just funga it with the kablada, give it to them, and then they used to appreciate that. They were like, God bless you, my daughter. You have helped me so much. And I'm like, yes, I take all the blessings. And I think those blessings are the ones that follow me to date. So people used to love me, and I used to love helping people. I'm a person who loves helping. So this day got me into trouble. So there's this client who comes, and he pretends that he has withdrawn from a wrong account. So I didn't pay attention to him, but then there was something peculiar about this, because the agent number, I can't quite recall it, but it was like 643 something 5. But then he says that he has transacted from, he adds a 4 hapo mbele. So he adds a 4, so it's like a long number, and then he says that he has called and he has been told that he has withdrawn in a bank, and I think I can't quite recall the name of the bank, but he says your pesa imeenda kwa bank. So to me I was like, okay, but this it sounded a little bit fishy, but I was like, sawa, so kusaidiaje. And in the training, we had been warned about helping customers and just letting them do the transaction for themselves, by themselves. So here I was, and I was like, you just do it, you let me know, I have a lot of clients. But then I don't know how, but this kamwizi of mine that we use for M-PESA transaction, I don't know how it got to him, or I'm the one who gave it to him to tell him that I've not gotten it. I think kuna tu mahali aliguza hiyo simu. Can't quite recall when or where, but kuna mahali aliguza hii phone. So I'm there and I was like, okay, let me help this guy. So he gives me the phone that he had and tells me, I have remembered. He didn't take my phone. He gave me his phone and then he was like, hear what this customer care person has to say. So customer care number ya Safaricom is 0722 and then it has 000 at the end. So for me I was like, this sounds legit, this sounds genuine. I might as well just step in and hear what this customer service person on the other end has to say. So I listen in and this guy has good English. And when I say good English, I mean good English. To a point, ilifika mahali and I was like, hey, you guy, are you a customer care person? Because everything was just sounding so fishy and I couldn't quite understand it. So I go on with the call and he's telling me, it was a he's telling me things to do with this other phone. So I'm there pressing codes and boom, I notice there's some float that imeenda. So like 70 Gs ya kwanza ilienda. So kitambo the limit was like 70k. So 70 Gs imeenda. And then he tells me, so by this time I have panicked, I am sweating, I am shaking, but trust me guys, I could not do anything. I just kept pressing on and on and on the way this guy was directing me. And then he tells me to repeat a certain step. Before I know it, money gone. And immediately that happened, I rose up and I called my mom and I was like, hey, there's something that has happened and I think I am conned. So by the time I'm finishing all these things, I look up and this person has vanished, gone. He's nowhere to be seen. We try looking around, he's not there, but he has left me with his phone. So I'm like, how did this happen? Like how did I get myself here? Yeah, and I'm like, how did we ever get here? And I remember me just doing nothing and freezing in that moment. And the guy had left me with his phone. I was like, maybe we can use this to capture him. So the first thing I do, like any other person, is call my mother. Call my mother because your daughter is in trouble and we need help. And I remember that day, nilikuwa nimekula, I think it was some rice and avocado. And guys, you know how that combination slaps. But I left everything. And I couldn't function. At that time. I called my mother. My mother came. We went to the business owner and we were like, shit has happened. And I remember during that time, the one thing that saved me, I would say, is the composure of my mom. Because if I had called my mom and my mom had panicked or had told me how good for nothing I am and how did I get in that position, then maybe it would have been a different case. But my mother was so supportive and she was like, you don't worry. The next thing we did was call my dad and explain what had happened. My dad was like, it's okay. People are conned every day. Adults are conned every day. Yeah, so my father was informed and he was like, people are conned daily. Adults, and they are conned huge sums of money. So he was like, take it easy. It's going to be okay. So we confronted the owner and we explained what had transpired. And after that, we tried seeking help from Safaricom customer care, but nothing happened. Maji ilikuwa yamemwagika na hayazoleki. So that is how I lost 111,000 Kenya shillings. We tried following up. Tuliandikisha statement kwa police, but up to date, I think 9 years later, nothing has ever happened. I think that case ilikunywa tu maji, but I hope this serves as a lesson to people to be cautious and to know some of the ways the tricks that these scammers use. So the trick he had done is he had saved the number as Safaricom customer care. He had saved the number as 0722000000, and that is where the trick was. So when he showed it to me, I was like, this is legit customer care calling Safaricom, and Safaricom calling, and I was like, I might as well just step in and see what they have to say. So that is what happened, that is what transpired. Eventually my dad ended up paying the amount, and the owner was kind enough to just return 20 Gs, but I took responsibility for my actions, and that is what happened. So I hope this serves as a lesson, and you get to know ways you can protect yourself and your business, and be on the lookout. Be on the lookout and to use scammers. See if it is kwenye nakuja, but who knows, maybe they will have threatened me with a gun. A lot of things happened. Maybe nikifumba macho. To be honest, I don't know what transpired, but I remember just me being in panic mode, and I figured out immediately that I had been conned. So to parents, also this is a message to you: be kinder to your children. People make mistakes, so if my parents had reacted in a different way, to be honest, it would have been difficult for me. So it's important that as parents, we acknowledge the realities. Sometimes our children will put us into situations we have not anticipated, but it's important that we be there for them. So that is it. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Subscribe, comment. Has this happened to you before? Let other people know in the comment section ways they can protect themselves. And if you haven't and you've enjoyed this story, remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Until next time, this is Maisha Chapters.